It's our first real fast Friday today that we had as a team. You know, some things look sharp and some things need work, but we are progressing. Items for you guys, after consulting with campus and our administration, both Jamal and DJ James have been reinstated for practice purposes, and they will not be available for the Fresno State game. Other item, quarterback-wise, Anthony Brown will be the starter. For us, the number 2 quarterback position is still up for grabs, and those guys will continue to compete. In terms of the corner position, both Dante Manning and Triquez Bridges will continue battling for that. They've been co-starters the entire camp. They're doing a good job competing, continue to get better. So we're going to let that competition continue to roll as well. So questions, please.
For DJ and Jamal, you say limited to practice, but they're able to do other team activities, just not playing games. Is that correct?
They're practicing with us, and they will not be available for the Fresno State game.
They're in meeting rooms and all that stuff too?
Practice and meetings, yes.
What'll go into the decision for the backup QB spot at this point, Mark? What more do you need to see to make that determination?
It's tight. You know, it's tight, and they do things well. They're progressing. It feels like one day one's ahead of the others. You know, you're running out of reps, and it becomes a real tight situation, not only from the game is coming, but from the reps available to let it play itself out. So we got to make a decision, and we got to be able to handle it as a team, and the guys got to be able to handle it and keep working, keep getting better to be someone that could help this football team.
In terms of Jalen Redd, we haven't asked you much about him because obviously he started off camp at limited capacity, but as he works his way back, we talk about those super seniors. It's only him and Johnny who've been here the whole time. What have you seen from Jalen in terms of preparation for this last ride season?
Yeah, he's really close to game ready, and he will be game ready. You know, whenever you have an injury, you know, you want to do what's best for the young man. You want to make sure when he gets back that he's back for the long haul. A lot of times when you prepare a guy from a return to play standpoint, if you cut that process short or you cheat it, you typically have chronic issues. And his process has been excellent. He's looked really, really sharp. He's not far away from being ready, but obviously the whole team is excited to have Jalen Redd out there going full throttle.
What did Anthony do that really kind of solidified him as the starter?
No, he's been doing it for a bit now. You know, obviously we keep things close to the vest. He's the way he handles and has control and command of the offense, his presence amongst the players at the line of scrimmage, his ability to improvise, right? Sometimes negotiate throws in tough situations. His ability to run the ball as well. He's been really accurate, and his explosive play ratio has been really high against a defense that we feel is really good. You know, we don't chart 7-on-7 much, and we do it, but it's not really a counter. There's no rush, right? There's no duress. When we enter those periods, test the passing game, we go team pass, team blitz, plays under pressure to really test them, test the protections, test the quarterback, pocket presence, all that stuff. Anthony's done a great job, you know, and quite frankly, he's a starter because he's done a great job, and the other ones are battling for that other spot because they've done a great job as well. It's not a matter of great performance versus poor performance. They've developed under Coach Moorhead and the system, so proud of them. Want to see them keep competing, and you know, we have a saying around here: everybody loves competition until it goes your way, until it doesn't go your way, right? And so far, guys have handled it really well. We expect them to handle it well throughout the whole thing.
On that front, just because it looked like they worked with Nate a bit yesterday, I didn't see Butter photographed with the others. Jay wasn't photographed with the other quarterbacks throwing with Costa.
Jay Butterfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't throw with Costa. He's an analyst. You know, he's a lot of stand-up practice.
Right.
But no, Jay is 100% in that mix. He's done a great job. You know, people always may have given him the stigma that he cannot run. He runs pretty well, or well enough. So there's no, I would say there's no strikes against him, nothing held against him in that regard. He's a really good player. He's very accurate. He's decisive, and he plays with guts. Like he knows when he relies on his arm strength. He knows when he can zip it in there in tight windows. He knows when he has to pull it and make another decision. So really, really impressed with him so far.
How long could you foresee keeping that number 2 job open? Like, is it going to be open competition throughout the season? Or do you have a timeline?
You got to make a decision as quick as you can, and that's where we're pressing the issue. You know, am I ready to make it today? I wish I was. You know, these things play themselves out. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than other times. it deserves more time. Again, there aren't many reps to go around, so we got to make a decision as to what we feel is best for the team, and we'll do that.
Your week one opponent plays tomorrow. What kind of pros and cons do you see to seeing that week one opponent play in week 0?
Well, both, the stuff that you guys talk about all the time, if they have the ability to get a game, under their belts, which is always different no matter how much you try to simulate it. And at the same time, when you don't have a game, you can watch, and I don't know, the way we've done camp, I feel like our bodies are ready to go. I don't foresee any issues there. So honestly, I'd rather play as much as possible and play as many guys as possible. So I think there's always an advantage to that, but you don't lean on that. You take advantage of the time you have to, once we're done with our preparation tomorrow, to watch them, study them more closely. They're an impressive football team. They have a lot of good players, and they've acquired a lot of good players through the transfer portal. So we expect them, to be not only ready for, for their game this week, but they have a lot of good players, and that's going to be a tremendous test for us.
For a lot of fall camp, talking to your players, they kind of just naturally assumed Anthony would be the guy, and it seems like he has total command of this team. How do you feel like he got there with that, and just the respect and command of this locker room?
I think he earned it. I don't, you're still going to make it hard on a guy. I just don't think you hand anything over. Why would you, right? Why would you ever create a team and a culture where stuff is just handed over? He's done that, and he's been pressed hard. And he'll tell you, I press him hard, real hard, because again, I can't simulate thousands of people yelling and screaming and that type of duress. So I got to create that in practice. Got to create that in situational play, in the way that we script practice, in the way that we prepare, everything that we do. So just a lot of credit to him. He's been through a lot, been around, pretty much across the country, right? And when you do that, if it's not real, it's hard to earn the trust and the backing of your teammates. He's done a really good job, and we expect him to keep growing as a leader.
Saw Justin Flo head out of here a little bit early today. Is everything okay with him? Just normal?
Is what?
Justin Flo headed out of here a little bit early today. Is everything good with him?
Yes, he's okay. Yes.
Alex was saying the rotation up front, obviously with the 6 guys back, but that you guys feel pretty comfortable with 7 or 8, maybe even 9 guys. Where do you see just that group shaping up at this point? Battles
Everywhere. Truly. Just great job with development with those guys. Coach Mirabal, Kirk's done a good job helping him out as well. Those guys have had a tremendous foundation last season and the off season. This Alex Forsyth, we don't talk about him enough, and we need to. That guy epitomizes what football is about. He epitomizes a leader, a captain, a tough guy, resiliency. I mean, you name it, he's got it. And he's helped forge a very strong room, a very culture-oriented room. So he's confident in everybody around them. We've cross-trained everybody. What that number is, I don't know. We're going to let those guys battle out. Today we had our developmental scrimmage. So a lot of guys got reps out there, guys that are going to be playing on Saturday, but we still rep them as part of that developmental scrimmage because they still need reps, and they got them today. And so I think that'll shake out a little bit more by Wednesday. By Wednesday of next week, when we're done with practice, I think that part of the chart will be a lot clearer.
You mentioned some of the quarterbacks and the fallout of some decisions you have to make. How did just the team in general respond to being notified of some starters and all that?
Well, I think at the quarterback position, it's probably not a surprise, but it's confirmation. We meet with our guys always. That's how you notify them. We talked about it the other day. That's the ultimate form of respect, face-to-face communication, making sure that there's clarity. You don't ever want to hear stuff, and back when I was playing, there wasn't any social media. You all think I'm, newspapers and stuff to find out what's going on, but you don't, it's the right way to do things. And I think look, when you let your guys know every single day where they stand and what they have to do to get better, and then you present opportunities with competition, then there's clarity. And at the end of the day, what you expect as a guy, when clarity is established, that you have a plan for them to get better, to keep competing. And at that point, then they got to go one way or the other. They got to be on board and come get it aggressively, or they can pull back and, and we think we have the type of competitors that want to attack it aggressively with good attitudes. And that's the culture, And, we try to make it 100% perfect. I don't know if it ever gets there, but they know the expectation. We're going to keep riding with that.
With Trey still limited a little bit, has 7 earned that number 3 designation at running back?
He has been limited, but not up not the last week. I mean, he's now taking live reps, and he looks great. You know, he's ready. He's ready to go. We've been cautious because you always want to be when a guy goes through an injury like that. But the confidence in him over the last, even more than a week, about a week and a half, I mean, we feel that if he's not ready 100%, he's right there. He's right at the cusp. Both Seven and Byron have had a great camp. So aside from, you know, Trey continuing to heal up and get better, both those guys have proven that they're going to help us this year. They're both going to play.
Just a couple of guys we hadn't seen so far, Mario, in terms of clarity. Will Hoyt and Greenfield, just what their status is.
Not available right now.
Okay.
How close is Sean maybe to Sean Dollars to getting back out and being able to contribute?
Yeah, I wish sooner than later. Man, look, you want to talk about a guy that's got a super future. Sean Dollars is an electric football player and a tremendous human being. I'd say he's probably a couple months out. Probably a little bit longer than, you know, first expected. But you guys see him. I mean, he looks great. He's grinding. He's coming around. I mean, his rehabilitation has been really strong. He's got a great attitude. He's just in it, and he wants to get back. But mid-season. So hopefully we'll get him back then.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.